Welcome you all here in CEC Gurukul online lecture. Learners, in series of lipids, we had discussed about the classification and different types of lipids, and we have seen here lipids can be classified as a simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids. And we had learned there natural fats, waxes, fatty acids, oils, phospholipids. Today, in this lecture, I'll discuss a different types of lipids, that is terpenes. Terpenes are a class of derived lipids which are not structurally related to the fatty acids, fats, oil, and waxes, but they are associated with the lipids because they are soluble in fats. Terpenes are a diverse class of lipids. Learners, the terpenes are major biosynthetic building blocks. Larger classes of terpenes such as steroids and squalene found in animals. Terpenes have very important or different physiological effects on the body. Terpenes are active organic compound and they do not contain fatty acids. They do not relate to the fats structurally or in terms of properties also. They are having different properties. So terpenes are a diverse class of lipids and they do not contain fatty acids, but they are dissolved in fats. That's why they are lipids. And 60% of known natural products are terpenes. Structurally, terpenes contain 5 carbon isoprene unit, and that isoprene units assembled in thousands of combinations. Essential oils that are also terpenes that called isoprenoids, spices, perfumes, and many natural medicines used as a terpenes or are terpenes. Structurally, they are terpenes, contain isoprene unit. They can be hydrocarbons or contain oxygen, alcohol, ketones, or aldehydes. Oxygen containing terpenes called terpenoids. So the terpenes which are having oxygen in their structure in their isoprene unit is called terpenoids. Universally present in small amounts in all living organisms. Terpenes, which are derived lipids, which are soluble in fats, play numerous vital roles in plant physiology as well as important functions in all cellular membrane. Learners, more than 50,000 terpenoids have been isolated from both terrestrial and marine plants and fungi. Terpenoids are the subclass of prenyl lipids. Prenyl lipids are also called that prenyl quinones or that can be sterols. So prenyls contain isoprenoid units, that is also having isoprene units. Learners, in this slide you can see there are different structures and these molecules are the products of different plants like menthol, which is peppermint oil, and geraniol, which is geranium oil, similarly oil of ginger. So these are the structure you can see on the screen, which are also terpenes having isoprene units. And another structure you can see on your screen, that is beta-alanine, and that is oil of celery. So we can say terpenes are unique types of lipids. They are unique lipids. And this is the isoprene unit. On your screen you can see CH2 double bond C having CH3 group, CH double bond CH2. So it is 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene. So this 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene is a called isoprene unit, and this isoprene unit have 5 carbons. So this 5 carbons 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene is called isoprene unit, and all the terpenes contain this isoprene unit, and on the basis of that isoprene unit we can classify it, or we can give them name. And this is the isoprene unit, and there is the carbon skeleton. One end is represented as a head and other end is represented as a tail. So the carbon skeleton of 2 isoprene unit with a bond between the tail of one isoprene unit and the head of another isoprene unit make a long chain of isoprene units. Learners, in this structure you have seen the tail of one isoprene unit and head of another isoprene unit to form a bond between 2 isoprene units. And isoprene units are linked in head to tail fashion to form terpenes. So this is called isoprene rules. The fashion of in which the head of one isoprene unit bonded to the tail of another isoprene unit to form a terpenes, and this is called isoprene rule. And terpenes are the class of lipids, and all molecules are biosynthesized from the isoprene unit. Example, cholesterol and hormones, sterols also. And the route through which cholesterol is biosynthesized, that is mevalonate pathway. So from that mevalonate pathway, terpenes and steroids can be biosynthesized. And more complex structure of terpenes is squalene. Squalene and lanosterols. From squalene, cholesterol can be biosynthesized, and before that lanosterols pass through several steps, at least 15 steps. After passing to 15 steps, this lanosterols converted into cholesterols in animals. So on the basis of number of isoprene unit, we can define them, or we can give the name of that terpenes. Example, terpenes having, as I told you, a 5 carbon unit, that is isoprene unit. So that 5 carbon represented as a 5n. N is an integer, and on the basis of n number, these terpenes can be subdivided. Example, if n is 1, 5n. Okay, the 5n, n is 1. It means that C will be 5. It is called Hemi Terpenes. So Hemi Terpenes contain only one isoprene unit. Monoterpenes. In monoterpenes, n is equal to 2. So the C will be 2. There is a 2 isoprene unit, and the carbon number in that in monoterpenes is 10. So this is called monoterpenes, and monoterpenes have 2 isoprene unit. Similarly, sesquiterpenes, in sesquiterpenes n is 3. So this sesquiterpenes have C15, 3 isoprene unit. In diterpenes 5n, n equal to 4. So here the carbon number will be 20. Similarly, sesquiterpenes, here n equal to 5. So the carbon number will be 25. In triterpenes, the n is equal to 6. So the carbon number here will be C30. Similarly, terpenes. In tetraterpenes, N equal to 8. So the carbon number will be C40. Example, carotenoids. Triterpenes is example is a squalene, and squalene is a precursor of cholesterol and many other steroids. So on the basis of 5n rule, on the basis of n number, we can subdivide it or classify it, or we can find out the number of isoprene unit in different types of terpenes. So that diterpenes contain 5 isoprene units, triterpenes contains 6 isoprene unit, tetraterpenes contains 8 isoprene units and have biological important roles. So diterpenes, triterpenes and tetraterpenes, all three types of terpenes have very important biological roles in our system. Example, as I told you in previous slide, squalene. Squalene is a triterpene. It contains 6 isoprene unit and it is a precursor of steroid molecule, or it is a precursor of cholesterol. So cholesterols in our body, in our physiological system, can be biosynthesized from the triterpenes. Triterpenes or all the terpenes are lipids because they are soluble in only fats, but they are not structurally related to the fatty acids, fats, oils and wax. They contain isoprene units, and that isoprene units can be 2, 1, 6 or more than 6. Next, here PPT you will see C5. This is Hemi Terpenes. Hemi Terpenes have only one isoprene unit. When these two isoprene Hemi Terpenes join together in a head and tail fashion, we get a monoterpenes. Monoterpenes have two isoprene unit. Similarly, monoterpenes is biosynthesized to sesquiterpenes. Sesquiterpenes have C15 carbon atom. Sesquiterpenes to diterpenes, and diterpenes is changed to biosynthesized to into carotenoids. So carotenoids, which are also terpenes, which is also class of terpenes, that are tetraterpenes, which contain C40 carbon atom, 8 isoprene units, and are very important biochemical organic molecules. So from that just like triterpenes, I have discussed previous slide, that squalene is used to biosynthesize for the cholesterols. So biosynthesis pathway of terpenes, and you in this slide you are looking terpenes synthesis skeleton. So on the basis of isoprene unit, we can give the structure of terpenes. And natural rubber contains more than 100 isoprene unit and more than 500 carbon atoms. So this is the structure of squalene. On your screen you are looking squalene structure, and this squalene is a precursor of steroids or precursor of cholesterols. So from this squalene, which is a triterpenes, which is a biomolecules which is unsaturated hydrocarbon, hydrophobic in nature, and contains 6 isoprene unit. It is a precursor of cholesterols. So cholesterol can be synthesized from squalene unit. Learners, here you can see the dotted line on your screen that represent one isoprene unit. So in this way, the squalene contains 6 isoprene unit, and it is represented by C5N, N equal to 2, N equal to 6 over here. So N is a number of isoprene unit. So 6 isoprene unit, the total number of carbon in squalene is 30. So squalene is a biochemical precursor to steroids. It is called ancient molecules, or it is called lipids, ancient lipids. And learner, it is a very important intermediate metabolic in synthesis of cholesterols. Also, in human, 60% of dietary squalene is absorbed, and it is a major component of skin surface, and which is a lipid, and it protects human skin surface from lipid peroxidation due to UV and other radiations. So here you can see on your screen, this is alpha farnesene. Alpha farnesene is a sesquiterpene, and here this isoprene unit joined through head to tail fashion and to form alpha farnesene. So this alpha farnesene is a terpenes, a sesquiterpenes, and found in a waxy coating on apple skin. So we have found the apple of the skin slightly shiny or waxy. So the waxy is skin of the apple is due to presence of that terpenes. Similarly, on your screen, you are looking carbon spearmint oil, which is a monoterpenes, because there is only one terpenes over here, and we during the structure reaction, it convert into cyclic compounds, and in that cyclic compounds, linkage of head of one isoprene unit to the tail of another, which is followed by additional linkage, and in that way it form a stable six-membered ring. So this is also a terpenes. Another class of terpenes is carotenoids. Carotenoids are tetraterpenoids. Carotenoids are also terpenes, and these are lipid soluble terpenes, and they are very important biochemical organic molecules and play important role in our physiological system. Learners, in this lecture we had learned what are the terpenes, why terpenes are lipids, and how terpenes are structurally different from fatty acid, fats, oil, and waxes. And we have seen there terpenes contain isoprene unit, which is a 5-membered carbon atom, and on the basis of that isoprene unit we can classify terpenes as a monoterpenes, diterpenes, triterpenes, and tetraterpenes, hemi terpenes, or sesquiterpenes. And the terpenes, which is squalene, and squalene is a triterpenes, contain 6 isoprene unit, and it is a very important unsaturated hydrocarbon terpenes, which is a precursor of cholesterol or other steroid hormones. And in the next lecture we will discuss another important class of derived lipids, that is terpenes, and in terpenes we will discuss carotenoids, how the carotenoids are important for our biological process. Thank you.